Welcome back to another episode of Mind Your Biz. Feels good to say that. I'm your host, Seth Estrada. Let's jump into all the news for August 4th, 2020. Today, let's start with Bitcoin news. Price action didn't quite hit expectations. A lot of maximalists over the weekend fully anticipated that Bitcoin would not only hit $12,000, but if it did find support at $12,000, that it would hit resistance somewhere around $14,000 around Monday. Lo and behold, August 1st came and went, August 2nd, August 3rd, and on August 3rd, of course, we didn't get anywhere close to 14,000. We actually retraced back down to about 11,000 and found bottom support at 11,000 and are slowly making our way back up. Volume spikes within that entire time frame kind of tell a different story. As to exactly what that story is, I'll leave that to the professional TA folks. I'll leave that to the people who think that they can make a prediction and that Bitcoin will do what they expect. However, this is what happened over the weekend. Bitcoin did not hit $14,000, and here we are. Ethereum, on the other hand, has done quite well over the last 24 hours, dipping another 0.5%. But in that same time frame, trying to break out to 400, been meeting resistance at 400, retracing all the way back down to around 385, but not nearly as severe a dip as what Bitcoin experienced. Let's jump over to bitcoindominance.com, and I'm going to use the Bitcoin Dominance Index, the real Bitcoin Dominance Index, to illustrate this point, just because I think this is a much better, more useful metric than some of the other dominance indices that are out there. And their reasoning I totally agree with. Their reasoning is that you should not include ICOs or stablecoins precisely because ICOs throw off calculations due to dumping. That's right. Development teams sell their ICOs. They sell tokens within an ICO precisely because they intend to dump into the market later on. And so they're disruptive in a way that just does not indicate real world usage in terms of pure currency plays. Also, when you eliminate stablecoins from the mix, you do the same thing. Stablecoins, by their very nature, have been used primarily to pump and dump certain coins. One could argue even that Bitcoin itself has been pumped and dumped in the post-2017 bull run, that Tether and other stablecoins that have come since have pretty much only been useful in terms of pumping the value of coins like Bitcoin. So they decrease the list of coins that they count into Bitcoin and its contentious hard forks, Bitcoin Cash and BSV, lovingly called Bcash here, Ethereum, Litecoin, Monero, and Zcash and Dash as the privacy options, Bitcoin Gold, which was the GPU mineable option for Bitcoin, Ethereum Classic, the contentious fork after the DAO hack of Ethereum, Dogecoin, and Decred. These are the coins used for this dominance chart. And when you look at Bitcoin, the real Bitcoin Dominance Index has not changed a whole lot until you factor in Ethereum, and it's a whole different story. Bitcoin's dominance has been basically it's been stumbling on its way towards a drunken fall on its face because of what's happening in Ethereum land right now. 15 points of lost dominance, specifically, obviously, to Ethereum. Ethereum is all the buzz right now with DeFi and various DeFi projects. Let's talk a little bit about why that might be. Now, again, in this show, we do not offer and we don't claim to offer any kind of financial advice. You need to do your own research. You need to own your own choices. So what we're doing here is just talking about what has happened and what is likely to happen based on development, not price action. So Ethereum's final testnet went live today. That is right. Ethereum 2.0, every single testnet required for Ethereum 2.0 to actually launch has launched. So while we make a joke, and you've heard me talk about it as well, that being in the proof of work space, especially with GPUs, that Ethereum 2.0 was so far off. However, you may recall on the channel, I prognosticated about 2 years ago that what I thought we maybe had 18 months. We got a little bit more than 18 months. Thank goodness, right? Knock on wood for GPU miners. But it may well be that by the time 4 gigabyte GPUs are no longer able to handle the DAG from mining Ethereum, it's very possible that Ethereum 2.0 could be live. Oh my gosh. It's surreal, but here's evidence, right? Ethereum's final testnet goes live, marks 3 months until ETH 2.0. Here we are in early August. we could see this happen this year in November. It's entirely possible that before the DAG outpaces current widespread GPU addressability, that we have ETH 2.0. But the Medalla testnet went live today at 1 p.m. Now, I don't know exactly which time zone it went live in, but it is already live. The Ethereum developers gave some quick updates yesterday, August 3rd, on the official Ethereum blog. All of these links are, of course, available in the description below if you want to read these for yourself. But the Medalla testnet, they had some considerations there. The validated deposits were all met, so it kicked off. All conditions were correct. All lights green. All systems go. Right here, 5 different clients at Genesis. They are all in place. They're all live. Again, if you want to check out all of these different clients for the testnet, you can check that out on the Ethereum blog at blog.ethereum.org. And we'll have a link down in the description. They also go out of their way to mention that the Medalla testnet has what's called a POAP NFT. Now, that's a non-fungible token for a specific type of purpose. And each one of those clients will support this new NFT. I'm going to pop open the details there because I think this is relevant. I think this matters in terms of the hype train. Now, again, you may be accusing me of amplifying the hype here. Am I an Ethereum maximalist? No, not necessarily. Am I perfectly happy with Ethereum development? Well, no, I haven't been. In fact, a lot of people who say, well, you don't understand, Ethereum has to fork proof of work. Well, I might have felt that way myself almost 2 years ago, but the opportunity cost of indecision took its toll anyway. And you know what? The sky didn't fall. We didn't need to replace any kind of proof of work algorithm because the threat was not as imminent as some people claimed. So here we are, and Ethereum 2.0 is potentially within sight. Let's take a look at some of these NFTs right here. This is the POAP home site. It's the gamification of real world events, or the gamification of attendance. So by any other name, or any other phrase, it'd just be the gamification of attendance, or the tokenization of gamified rewards for attending in person to an event. I think personally, this is huge. I have school-age children, and right now, the hybrid schedules of children returning to school based on COVID-19 guidelines, at least here in the United States, it's kind of dicey. Every single school district is a little bit different. So something like this really speaks to me right now in terms of solving real-world needs, real-world problems, trying to assign non-fungible tokens to real-world attendance. I think it's brilliant, personally, because I see a use case today. That's pretty amazing. Also, in conjunction with this, here's Beacon Chain /POAP that talks in depth about the proof of attendance protocol. So it says to celebrate the upcoming launch of ETH 2.0 multi-client testnet Medalla, which we just mentioned. I'll pop that open in GitHub and also leave a link down in the description. And to encourage as much community engagement as possible, we have teamed up with our friends at POAP.xyz and our ETH staker to create and distribute badges that will prove via the Ethereum blockchain that you participated in the launch of the multi-client testnet. There will be a unique POAP badge for each client to encourage everyone to try out all the available clients. So first off, I think this is brilliant. Does this require ETH 2.0? Not necessarily. Is it really cool that they're doing something like this? I mean, we probably should have seen this at every single crypto conference, every single time we went to any sort of event in person. Certainly the Bitcoin maximalist events would not be supportive of this because it breaks a bit of the narrative that Ethereum is entirely useless, but there is definitely a need right here. So non-fungible tokens, according to the ERC 721 standard. Pretty amazing, but I love the proof of attendance protocol there. It is just an ERC 721 token. It's not anything super, super fancy, but the use case does prove usefulness. And my mind is very much in that space right now with kids returning to school because of COVID-19. So look for links down in the description for all of that. Last but not least, let's talk about Bitcoin again. Why Bitcoin? Well, because Ethereum, for all that it does solve, for all that it does do, it doesn't solve privacy per se. And where it does solve privacy, it doesn't solve it nearly as completely as projects like Monero. And according to a recent white paper publication, Monero and Bitcoin can now achieve atomic swaps. And it's not something that is hypothetical. It's not something theoretical or that's for a future date. It's something that is possible now, according to the contributor who goes by the handle hashed. So we've got a little write-up here on mineyour.biz. You can read the full write-up there. We have the comparisons between the two market caps and prices with changes, real-time data on that page. And we talk about atomic swaps with the full embedded white paper here. If you want to learn more about this protocol, learn more about cross-chain atomic swaps directly between Bitcoin and Monero, you can email the author of this white paper and who did so much of this work, I believe with some financial community support from the Monero community, possibly a grant or a bounty from the community, but definitely a lot of goodwill from the community at hashed@protonmail.com. That's a hashed spelled with a 4 and a 3 instead of A and an E. But the abstract lays out pretty clearly why this matters. It says in blockchains where hash time lock contracts are possible, atomic swaps are already deployed. But when one of the blockchains doesn't have this capability, it becomes a challenge. This protocol describes how to achieve atomic swaps between Bitcoin and Monero with 2 transactions per chain without trusting any central authority, servers, nor the other swap participant. We propose a swap between 2 participants, one holding Bitcoin and the other Monero, in which, when both follow the protocol, their funds are not at risk at any moment. The protocol does not require time locks on Monero side nor script capabilities, but does require 2 proofs of knowledge of equal discrete logarithm across the Edward 25519 and the SECP 256K1 groups and ECDSA one-time VES. So if that's Greek to you, as frankly it is to me, I'm not an expert in the protocol level or programming level understanding of these coins. However, what they're describing is a way to directly swap Monero for Bitcoin, as you see in the Monero little graphic there, the guy with the mustache throwing Monero and somebody else receiving Bitcoin. And that is indeed how I imagine atomic swaps would look like. You know, if you look down at the subatomic level, this is what's happening in those little the quarks of those blockchains. It's not really, but the bottom line is this makes privacy for Bitcoin that much greater because you can now swap atomically between Bitcoin and Monero, get all of the privacy by default you would from Monero, and with proper OPSEC and completely erase the possibility, at least today in 2020, of having Chainalysis conducted on your transactions and then spontaneously swap back. This is huge. This is huge in a way that CoinJoin is huge for Bitcoin. It's huge in a way that the proposal of Mimblewimble within Litecoin is huge. It's huge in so many ways, but it takes 2 established projects right now, one with an over $200 billion market cap and one with a small but serviceable market cap of about $1.5 billion, and gives you an opportunity to off-ramp and swap between the two. We think it's huge proponents of Monero here at mineyour.biz, but also huge believers in the mission of Bitcoin and, of course, even some of the contentious forks. Being able to use Bitcoin in a reasonably easy way day to day. All right, guys, that'll do for today's news. Go ahead and check out all the links down in the description. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button, clicking the bell icon so you're notified when new videos like this come out. Thank you so much for checking out the mineyour.biz merch store, where you can get all kinds of accessories, including fancy embroidered hats, t-shirts, even backpacks, totes, stickers for your bumper or for your rear window on your car or for the office or for your laptop. All kinds of fantastic merch that, guess what, is all purchasable in native cryptocurrencies non-custodially, meaning that when you purchase something from mineyour.biz, neither Coinbase nor BitPay nor any other third-party intermediaries know that you have made that purchase. It is between you and our team, and we maintain the circular crypto economy. Thank you so much for being supportive. You're the reason we make this media. I love your face. and I will see you in the next one. This episode is sponsored by monero.biz. Check out our merch store where you can buy stuff using all kinds of cryptocurrencies, including Monero. We may be adding support for payments in the near future, so if you like that, go ahead and upvote this video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, Seth, I want to buy merchandise from monero.biz with my currency.